there, Kelly here from BodyFit Solutions. Just wanted to do a few little 10-minute workouts for you. So this is one of a few that I'm going to be posting, and I'm just going to use either a different kit to supplement the movement patterns, or I'll focus on one specific area of the body. So I wanted to work today on the roller. So I'm going to use either the long foam roller, or if you've got one of these shorter foam rollers, that will work as well. So as long as you have something like that that you can use, then let's get to it. So we're going to start with upper back, and then we're going to move down to pelvis, and then we're going to finish with kind of some leg series and some movement patterns into the upper back. All right? So I want you to always listen to your body and make sure you're doing stuff that serves you and doesn't feel uncomfortable. If it does feel uncomfortable, you can just opt out of it. So I'm going to rest my back against the roller here and just find that little nook underneath the shoulder blades. You'll find when you go back and forth where the best place is for you to rest here. I'm going to interlace the hands behind the head and just cup behind the head so I can support the head. And I want you to feel a little bit of press back into your hands. Okay, and we're going to take a nice breath in through the nose. And just let the spine come up gently, and then exhale, and just allow the spine to start to bend softly around the roller. Now you might find that that's quite sticky, but that's cool. Just kind of feel where you are, and then take your next breath in and just come back up. So we're going to inhale through the nose, and exhale through the mouth, and just feeling how that upper back is moving today. Inhale as you come up. It's nothing forceful. I'm not trying to do a stomach crunch or anything like that. I just want to start to wake up that upper back movement. Now you might find that your lower back is wanting to lift, and I want you to try and prevent that from happening. So see if you can focus your mind in the upper part of the back from the rib cage up to the neck. Good. You might find you want to stay there, maybe not go as far and go a little bit further. Up. And we're just going to bring the feet a little bit closer so we can press down into the floor. If this part doesn't feel good, just stay with what we were just doing or take a little breather. So this time we're going to lift the hips up, and we're going to bring the roller kind of more to the shoulder blades. If your feet feel too close like mine did, I'm just going to move them back away. Now I'm going to allow that upper back to bend with my hips in the air. From there, I'm going to let the spine ripple down to try and touch the ground. And I'm going to come back up and roll back up. And then lower the bum down. So we're going to do that 3 times. So lift the hips, come to the shoulder blades, extend the back heel, keep pressing the head into the hands so you're not hyperextending the neck. Release, trickle down. Imagine there's a little drop of water going down from your sternum to your tail. Curl back up, and roll back up, and lower back down. One more time. Inhale up, exhale over. You might want to inhale there and then exhale to start to go down. Don't worry if your bottom doesn't reach the floor today. As you practice, that will get a little bit easier. And then roll back up, and all the way down. Now we're just going to go on to our side from here. And this is going to be a part release of the lat muscles, a little bit of the intercostals, the muscles between the ribs, and just start to get us into a little rotational pattern. Now your hand position, you can either rest your hand here under your head, or you can lay the hand down. That might be just a little bit too far for the head. Sometimes I'll just put a little pillow there just to support. But today I'm going to just prop that arm up a little bit here. Now I'm just going to rotate my upper back just a little bit forward and back. So starting to feel a little bit of release in those lat muscles around the shoulder blades. That might again feel a little bit tender. So tread carefully. If you've just got your little roller that might be prickly or bumpy, then this might feel a little bit more aggressive. Okay, what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of leg movement. So as my body goes forward, my top leg is just going to stay bent and just tap behind gently. And then as my upper body goes back, I'm just going to tap the foot. So I'm just waking up the hips a little bit with the upper body. So So a little lift and reach, and a little reach. Now I'm going to add some arms. So I'm going to reach forward the arm as the leg goes back. I'm going to reach back the arm by the hip as the leg goes forward. So my trunk is rotating, my hips are bending and stretching, flexing and extending, and I've got a little bit of arm movement here. So kind of like we're walking on our side. Let's do one more of each, going forward and back. And then I want you to lengthen your leg out, lengthen your arm down, and just allow your spine to stretch over the roller. And if that's too much for your shoulder, you can have the hand behind your head, or you can just rest it down and just allow that nice little opening of the side of the body. And then come back up. So let's take it to the other side. Same thing here. So find that nice position, and we're just going to rotate. And back. Rotate. And back. Feeling how this side feels compared to the other. And then we're going to add the legs. So as my trunk goes back, my leg goes forward. Now at first you can have your hand behind the head, and that gives a little bit of a balance challenge. My leg taps forward, and I'm very conscious to make the movement happen from around the ribs. So there might be a temptation for the head to turn quite a lot. So just check in with that it is the trunk that's rotating. I'm going to add that arm like we did on the other side. So I'm going to reach forward as the leg goes back, reach back the arm as the leg goes forward. Reach and tap, and back. And reach and tap, and come back. And let's do one more of each. And come back, and release. Wonderful. So now I'm going to lie on the back, and we're going to place the roller underneath the pelvis. Now at first that can feel quite foreign if you've not done that before. You could actually do this with a rolled up towel if the roller feels just a little bit too high or a little bit too hard right now. But this is quite a nice position to get some opening through the hips. Also, if you feel a little bit of SI joint pain around the back of the pelvis, sometimes just resting here and letting the pelvis just spread out on the roller can feel really nice. So I want you to feel the sense of spreading out to let the pelvis sink down, and we're going to take one leg into the air. As I take that leg in the air, I want to tilt the pelvis a little bit towards the ribs. So imagine you've got a little marble, you're rolling it up towards your rib cage, and you're going to keep it there as you walk this leg down. Now I'm going to keep my knee a little bit bent, and I want to feel a little sense of stretch here down the front of the leg. Now if I rotate the leg inwards and outwards at the heel, so I'm just rolling the heel out and in, my leg bone rotates as well. So I'm just getting a little bit of mobility in that hip joint. You might feel that one way of moving is a little bit easier than the other. If you find that your back is arching more, then ease back the leg and then just do it from there. Okay, it's really important that the pelvis doesn't move. So let's try the other side, taking the leg up, keeping the knee slightly bent. If the pelvis starts to drop down and the back arches more, now I can already feel that this side is stiffer, doesn't want to rotate in as much. Definitely rotates out more, and a lot of you might find that yourself, that rotating in will feel a little bit more challenging. So this is a little bit more for mobilizing through the hip. Now we're gonna strengthen the hips and just challenge the trunk a little bit. So I want you to press down on your long roller, press down on the floor if you've got your short roller. And we're just gonna do a little femur arc. So arcing one leg towards you, one leg down towards the roller. Now if your pelvis starts to move and roll forward, I don't want you to let your legs go that far. So I'm really keeping my pelvis stable as I can as the legs walk. Okay, so an upside down walking. And each time you do it, you might get a little bit more range in your bottom leg. You can reach the heel towards the roller. And that gives a nice little stretch through the thigh. But I'm not trying to force it. I'm really trying to make sure that the pelvis stays nice and connected to the roller And the deep abdominals are just sinking beautifully towards the roller. I'm not bracing, I'm not holding my breath. I'm just keeping that nice support. Awesome. So to get yourself out, I just roll the roller away and then just lower down. Now we're going to put our feet on the roller here. So make sure nothing's in the way, like my little block here. Okay, now we're going to do just a little hip mobility. If you need a little support and cushion under your head, please do that. So I'm going to have my feet hip distance apart, and I'm just going to circle my legs around. Now what I want to try and do here again is to keep the pelvis stable. So I don't want the pelvis to tip down and forward as my legs rotate. So I'm doing an outward rotation and then circling back and drawing back in. Now if you feel any clunking, cricking, clacking in your hips, try and think of the legs going deeper into your pelvis as you circle rather than trying to stretch them away, and maybe decrease the motion for a few. See if you can really minimize the noise going on. Okay, come back up. You're going to have the soles of the feet, and I just want you to wake up the ankles a little bit. So we're going to do a little plantar flexion, opening the front of the ankle, and a dorsiflexion to flex the front of the ankle. So plantar flex and dorsiflex. Plantar flex and dorsiflex. Okay, we're going to come down onto the floor with our feet on the roller. We're going to make sure you have a head block behind your head if you need it. And we're going to keep the pelvis nice and stable as we do a little leg circle. So we're going to go circling around and up. So outward circle with the legs. We're drawing the roller down, and I'm just making sure that the pelvis doesn't tip forward. So the back part of the pelvis is really secure. Circling around. And then I'm going to get the soles of the feet on here, and I'm just going to plantar flex and dorsiflex. So I'm going to open the front of the ankles, the toes veer down towards the floor, and I'm going to dorsiflex the ankles so the heels pull down to the floor. So roll open the front of the ankle, roll close the front of the ankle. So this is a really great stretch for the calves and just wakes up the feet. Gives us a nice little stretch. Okay, now you might find that this at the moment is a little bit challenging, so use the floor first and then progress to the roller. What I'd like you to do is to press down into your roller, let the bottom hover up and come into a little bridge. Now I want you to feel like your spine is going longer towards the front of the room, tilting the pelvis slightly, so that we feel connected to the back of the legs and we're not overdoing the thighs or the lower back. And then lower the bottom down. Watch that the roller is right underneath you, so you're pressing the roller down into the floor. That's really key. So I press the soles of the feet down into the floor, lifting into that bridge. And return back down. A really good way to do this as well is to have your feet on a wall. And then you lift your bottom up just a little bit. So even if you don't have a roller or you find this too hard, have your feet against the wall and just lift your bottom up to here. Just a little lift and hold there and see what that feels like. Even just holding here on the roller, I can feel the back of my legs switching on. Now what we can do in this hover is just do a little march. So I'm going to take one foot onto the roller, lift the other. And really feel the back of the leg supporting me as I take the other leg up. Okay, and if you can do it in the hip extension, which might be a little bit harder, let's do 4 here to finish. 3, 2, and a 1. Amazing. Hug your legs into your chest and do a little rock and roll. Amazing. Hopefully you enjoyed that little 10-minute workout on the roller.